Nigerians are going to be there like, give me Coca-Cola, give me beef. Why you have no beef left? I want beef. And I'm just going to be there like, sorry, we ran out of beef. All the Nigerians are going to be there.
There you have it. 2 days after this video went viral, British Airways has sacked a stewardess who posted the racist Snapchat rant attacking Nigerian passengers. Joan Wickenden sparked outrage after recording the racist clip in her BA uniform before flying from London Heathrow to Abuja last weekend. In a statement, she said, quote, "The airline says," I quote, "she no longer works for British Airways. We expect the utmost professionalism for our staff when they're representing British Airways," end of quote. The 23-year-old who wants to be an actress told friends that she's not racist, claiming the video was just a joke. Now, Norwegian oil conglomerate Statoil is taking another step in localizing its global oil exploration and development business in Nigeria as it opens its new office in the nation's capital city. The oil company, which ranks among the world's most profitable oil firms, has been operating in Nigeria since 1992 and seeks to deepen its investment in the nation's oil and gas sector at a landmark reform. The executive management of Statoil and Norwegian diplomats were in attendance with Nigerian stakeholders as the oil firm celebrates 25 years of operation. Our correspondent Ajuri Ingelali reports.
Preparing to open its new office, Statoil executives welcome the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku.
And as much as possible.
67% owned by the Norwegian government. Representatives from Statoil say it is deepening its 25-year commitment to Nigeria.
For your information, we are actually 4 or 5 times more Nigerians working elsewhere in Statoil than actually in Nigeria. So when we take on a post in a country, we recruit good people locally. And some of them we send around the world to work for us other places, and then they come back again eventually. So we have engineers, we have analysts, we have geoscientists, and even executives.
Norwegian diplomatic officials say the Nigerian bilateral relationship is a critical one.
Traveling around for a few days now, you see the potential, the enormous talent that's here in Nigeria. Honorable Minister, thank you for letting me also see that talent of Nigeria.
From strength to strength, and that is why
Nigerian officials assert that gas is tomorrow's oil and that gas flaring is ending by 2020, emphasizing that joint venture agreements are no longer to be one-sided in favor of international oil companies, but must now be composed in the best interest of Nigeria rather than Nigerian officials.
And I do thank you for the amount of Nigerians you put in senior positions abroad. But now we need to look at much more substance. How do you get involved in refining? How do you get involved in taking gas to power? How do you get involved in helping us cover some of the failures that were not your fault, but quite frankly, as our joint venture partners, you must share some of the blames that have happened in the past. Why are we not getting power in a country with so much gas reserves? So helping us put infrastructure on gas, put refining in place, put power plants in place, must be some of the new challenges we're going to impose on oil companies. Because if we don't do that, in 30 years we'll have a lot of reserve, but we'll have no use for the oil.
The Norwegian delegation observes as the minister commissions the new office. With Statoil's 45 years of expertise and a global reputation for transparent operations and technical excellence, optimism is at a high that recent sectoral reforms are attracting the right players to what is described as a promising Nigerian oil industry. Ajuri Ngilale, Channels Television News.
Welcome to Sports News. We begin with the UEFA Champions League, where Liverpool were held to a frustrating 1-1 draw despite dominating Spartak Moscow in Russia. Kevin De Bruyne scored a superb goal as Manchester City beat Shakhtar Donetsk to make it 2 Group F wins out of 2. Harry Kane scored a hat-trick as Tottenham maintained their 100% start with victory over Opol Nicosia. Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice as holders Real Madrid humbled Borussia Dortmund 3-1 in Germany. And back home, Super Eagles technical advisor Gernot Rohr has invited 23 players for next week's all-important 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifier against the Chipolopolo of Zambia in Uyo. The list includes a majority of players that played the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the two-leg tie earlier this month. The team captain Mikel Obi, forward Odion Igalo, and England-based Victor Moses retained their places. All invited players are to report to the training camp in Uyo on October the 2nd. Meanwhile, the Nigerian professional football club, Enyimba, has denied reports that they are on the verge of signing Maxwell Konadu, who led Ghana to the 2017 WAFU Final Cup. After Ghana's 4-1 defeat of Nigeria, reports emerged that Enyimba has started negotiations with Konadu. But Enyimba's sporting director, Jude Anyadufu, said the Aba Elephants were satisfied with the performance of coach Benga Gumbote. Anyadufu also confirmed that the former Sunshine Stars and Shooting Stars manager will lead the team's campaign in next year's CAF Confederations Cup. And that's it on Sports News for tonight. I'm Baram Koniranta and Ijama. I'll be back with it.
The opposition leader in Kenya, Raila Odinga, has declared intention not to participate in the October 26th presidential rerun unless officials of the IEBC are sacked and prosecuted. He was addressing reporters after a day of protests in the capital, Nairobi, against the runoff. Several volleys of tear gas were fired near the Election Commission headquarters at opposition protesters who were calling for election officials to be prosecuted and sacked before the October date. Earlier this month, the Kenyan Supreme Court annulled President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election, citing irregularities, and ordered a fresh vote to happen within 60 days. And the main news again. A federal high court in Lagos today rejected the application of former aviation minister Femi Fani-Kayode seeking the transfer of his trial for an alleged 4.9 billion naira fraud to Abuja. Also today, INEC officials stormed the National Assembly complex in Abuja to serve Senator Dino Melaye the recall notice submitted by members of his constituency in Kogi West. And Kenyan police today dispersed protesters who were demanding the sack of election officials ahead of the October the 26th rerun election. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Honyato. Have a good night.